I noticed that most of this crowd is female, right? And thank you, gentlemen who are here. And one of the things I have tried to do myself is to figure out how to bring more and more men into these Architects of Change live conversations, tell them about our principles, because I think, you know, and we've even seen playing out in the presidential man versus woman, you know, how do we move from that? How can each person in this room, whether it, you know, invite men in, invite other people in, so that the river between the sexes, the genders, gets a little narrower?
Well, you may notice at the very bottom of this, it says book 1. There are 3 books. It's a trilogy. And the first one is about how the divine feminine wakes up, because the feminine has been discarded. It's a little girl thrown on a trash bin. And as it wakes up, it is wild. It's outside of the culture that's been created. Men, because they created the culture and are more identified with it, are more trapped in it. So if I tell a woman, you need to quit your soul murdering job, she goes home and she tells her husband, and he goes, we'll make it, honey, it's okay. Most men. And then if I tell a male client, you need to quit your soul murdering job, he goes home and says, honey, I'm going to quit. No, he's got to fight his wife, his mother, his father, everything. So the job of the feminine is to free itself and then to free men. So the second book, that whole thing of the princess in the tower.
Let's pause a second with that, because we talk a lot about feminine power, the divine feminine, and my daughter said to me, well, give me an example of, you know, feminine power. You know, is it angry? Is it this? So let's talk about free yourself and then free the men.
Yeah, it can be so simple. My daughter really helped me write this book. And a few months ago, his company folded and he lost his job. And I went into a mild panic because I don't want to support them. And I was like, I hope he gets another job. And my daughter said, no, he needs to rest. He needs to rest, and then he needs to find out what he loves, and then he needs to go wild. And I was like,
He needs to pay the bills.
Exactly. And I realized I was doing it. I was trapping this beautiful, beloved man. And in the next book, he's at the top of a tower that the prince has to save the princess from the tower. In the next book, there's a man caught at the top floor of a penthouse office in Manhattan, and he's waiting to be set free. All the wildness has been pounded out of him, and he doesn't even know where to start. And it's the women who already get outside of that, because we've pushed outside it. We can then bring wildness back in, and as the structures collapse, we say to the men, as we've said to my son-in-law, sweetheart, rest. You too get to play this game of trust the universe and it will care for you. And if necessary, the women in your lives will gather around you and love you until you're whole, and we believe in you. Don't poison yourself again on our behalf. And so we're doing that. We're telling him, don't look for a job, heal. We want you whole.
That's a really good message for anybody who works with young women, right? To begin to, you know, give that over, because that we have to work against our furies of what we want to lock men into, right? You have to do this, you have to be that. We kind of look at like the archetype of the man, right?
Yeah. And try being inside a man's head when he wants to go away from the standard. The furies in his head will kick the crap out of him. I mean, it's gnarly, right? Do I lie? Do I lie, guys? If you're not a man, be a man.
Right. It's tough.